Hi everyone, you are welcome in AI with Rao, and let's make AI simple. And in this journey, I am here with my second open source contribution. I'm going to share my experience, what I learned through this open source contribution, and believe me, it will help you a lot. What are the learnings? How first is how to read a bug written by an expert. So maintainer of a product in open source is not less than an expert. Why one image broke and a similar did not? That is the learning. How to change a function without breaking its collar. This was the biggest technical learning, I would say, and how to take the maintainer suggestion in the right way. Let's start. Okay. So I'm going to tell you each thing one by one. So it's a PyPDF, and the problem was PyPDF could not open a 4-bit color image. Simple. It was not able to open a 4-bit color image. The person who filed the bug was actually the maintainer himself. Okay, which made me the easiest issue to track and pick up. Why I'm saying this? Because of these 3 reasons. First, the bug is real, no doubt, because it was being created by the expert, the product owner, the maintainer of open source himself. The scope is agreed. Okay, blast radius is already been done and understood clearly by the maintainer, the expert himself. And third is nobody is greatly working on it. If someone is working, it will be visible because the owner is, everything is very clear. So it was the right choice for me to start with. And now let's discuss what was the bug. You can see right now in one line. So a PDF contain an image with 4-bit component, that's deviceless RGB color space, would not extract. It fell inside a pillow with this one, unrecognized image mode 4 bits. Simple. How you can understand that? I'm giving you the example so that you can relate it very easily. So this is the 4-bit RGB pixel. I have given 3 simple and examples. Okay, this is RGB, and these are the codes, and this is the value, 3 bytes. Simple. What was the old code? You can see right now. So what it was doing for X in range, this read 1 sample per pixel, stop a third the way it threw the error. And what I did, the fixed I provided was range, width / color, and read all 3 components and then scale from 1 to 15 and to 0 to 55. I will explain you these things now one by one. This is the issue. Let's dig deep into that. What is the problem? See, 4-bit per component, what does it mean? Normally each color component gets 0 to 255. Okay, for all RGB, for red, green and blue, 3 pixels, 3 byte per pixels. You already know that. Okay, now a 4-bit image, each component only have 4 bytes. So this is the trick here. A value from 0 to 15, 2 component fits in a single byte, and it compression trick is there. That was the real issue. Okay, a quarter of the file size when the image does not exist full color depth. So when this kind of data is there, it compresses the file and then everything happens. So to display it, it needs to do opposite of that. What is, if it is being packed, then you have to unpack, pull the 4-bit value out of the packed byte, right? And if it is descale, then you have to scale it. Okay, because stretch each value from 0 to 15 range up to 0 to 225. 15 becomes 225, not nearly black like 15. So it first it does is packing and then downscaling. So while retrieving it, we have to do opposite thing, is unpack and scale. And the reason exactly, here is the code why it broke. So see here, buffer size is size 0 and size 1. It is taking range in size 0 and buffer with these coordinates and data with this index and then a mask. The reason was there, size 0 is the width of the pixel and it is the correct for grayscale, okay, or a palette image when a pixel is one sample. But the problem is with RGB value. For RGB, one pixel is 3 sample. I saw you then in the image. So the loop reached the third of the row, left remaining package and never scaled anything. Then the mode string 4 bits handle to pillow, which has no idea what does it mean. You got the point? Now how this note, the bug, 4-bit gray scale and 4-bit palette image work perfectly, only RGB broke. The wrong assumption that made is right the most of the time, that is hardest to explain. So in one wrong assumption, that if it is working for one sample, one palette, it will work for RGB. That was the assumption and that was the real pain point. That was the root cause of the problem. You understand that? Even the maintainer was not able to find the issue. Now what fix I provided? See, I can show you the code right now so that you can understand. This is the simple code. I created simple method bits to byte with these data points. I will tell you why. And these size I took, size and color, and factor I took this 225. Simple, with default values. Why I took those default values? So that the existing color will not break. Let me explain you why. See, color 3 makes it unpack to full row and scale true. You can see right now. Okay, scale, where is the scale? Scale 2. Okay, stretch each sample to full range and device RGB moves to RGB instead of P palette. Now the question will come, why I choose default color 1 and scale as false, the palette size of byte to byte unchanged, and that was, let the reviewer say quickly, the risk part of change is opt-in. Why? Because I made this provision that the caller function, that application or the method that already calling this will not break the functionality. Now the lesson in the signature, that I have created a column out of it. The approach, change the behavior for everyone, verify existing caller still works. Okay, and opt-in parameter with safe default, verify only the new path. Done. See, the second one is not a trick, it is genuinely a lowering risk. Existing behavior is preserved by construction, not by promise that I will check. So these are the two approach, and I picked this second approach intentionally, that will not break the existing functionality. Okay, and that was the reason my code got merged. How I confirmed it before writing the code. See, I can't go suddenly and write the code and say merge my code. No, they will not listen. First I have to reproduce that. So one thing that I kept in my mind is that when the bug was being created, what was the version of PyPDF, I used that, reproduced that into my local system, and then before writing the code I checked that in the main branch is this has already been fixed. I encountered many time that what I'm fixing has already been done on the main branch, so no need to do redundant work and consume more time and effort. Okay, so these three things I kept in mind, especially the third one. Now come to this finding the lines. See, once it reproduce, like this is something I can tell you, you have to agree with it. So like search the literal text in the error message, not what you think is the failure, and call error string is the unique token. The reason why I found that okay, this is the issue, right? And this is the approach. Where is the actual code that is causing that issue? That was the real reason. And it gave me a tricky that whatever the bug, 4 bits unique key, I searched that unique key, and through this unique key I found the exact repository, exact branch where it is being done, and then I found the same with the same keyword, the exact line of method in the code that was actually creating the issue. That is the whole situation. Now the reviewer also gave me one suggestion, and that was a turning moment. Okay, so maintainer left one suggestion. I had written the bit depth expression one way, and he proposed int mode say 0. So this was like, I looked it and it was like saying like maintainer suggestion something simple, I know better than him. No, he's the owner of the product, he is an expert. Whatever he's saying has a width. Sometime our ego clashes and we say no, what I'm saying is right. I acknowledged him, I reproduced it, corrected myself, and then I created the PR, and that I did with my test. So I created a test, a complete overall test with my main branch, that what the things are happening. Okay, and what you can copy from there in your open source contribution is read the issue tracker maintained by file issue. Maintainer himself creates issue, you should first read it. Second, when touching share code, make new behavior opt-in. Existing functionality must not break your new behavior. Okay, and track the suggestion. This is what will make you a better developer, as say. And one major thing had happened, like that I will tell you, that when I created, because of the network failure, my test cases were failing. I was not sitting silent. I approached them and explain them that it's because of network failure, and this is on my local. Send them the screenshot, and he acknowledged that and merged next. So that was a very turning moment for me, and that's it. Thank you so much. I hope it will help you to become a better developer.